All right. It says we're live. It says we're going live. Are we live?
We're good?
I think so. I don't know. I just saw you take off your glasses. This is a new thing. We're doing something new.
All right.
Look,
what are we doing? This is Wednesday midweek update.
First midweek update of 2021. And we are in a Zoom meeting. And hopefully, I don't know if other people can see this or if anybody else is watching, but hopefully we are live on YouTube and people can see and hear us and people are watching. If you can join us in the live chat, please let me know if you are seeing this happening. We're trying something new so that Gary and I don't have to be in the same room together. I don't know where he's been, or what he's been doing, although I did like having that big divider.
That's right. That was cool thing. So you will notice, first of all, we are not wearing masks because we're not in the church.
We're not in the church.
Each of us are in our home offices and sharing the midweek update. And folks, this is going to be the norm. And if you're able to work at home, we encourage you to do the same thing. We are in a new high of COVID infection rate for the state. It is not a good time to be out if you don't have to be. And we want to encourage you to be safe. It was tough during Christmas. It was a really difficult call to postpone or suspend our curbside communion. And we didn't have the outdoor Christmas Eve service that we had envisioned and worked for so much. It was great to see so many people view our service, and the comments and affirmations from everyone were just great. And I can't say enough to Phil and to Kathy Berlin, Carolyn and Kevin and everybody. Jennifer, your prelude.
Right, that drone shot coming up above the steeple was awesome.
Over the top. So thank you. It has been tough. I mean, it is not easy to do things in a new way. But Phil and I, we continue to want to give an affirming message and a message of encouragement that we can do this, even in the overwatching of news and politics.
Right, all kinds of crazy things happening this week.
Please stay healthy. Please stay positive. Please be a light shining in the darkness that others may see your good works. There's a lot of folks experiencing a lot of anxiety. I pray when they look at the church that they see a group of people who are trying to stay connected to God and stay connected to one another and provide a positive and affirming approach to life. And as we start this new year, Phil and I are committed to continue to bring a message of light and life and hope.
And lots of ways that can happen. And so things to look forward to, even though we're not going to be meeting in person in this immediate future due to all of these increasing COVID infection rates, we are still anticipating that by the end of this calendar year, 2021, First United Methodist Church will be meeting in person and inside the building. But what we need to figure out is how we get there from where we are here. Right now.
Where we are right now is not trying to be in the building if at all we can avoid it.
That's right. But we want to have that mindset and that goal of getting there. And so it is in the worship planning meetings that we are going to be talking about, discussing, sharing ideas, and figuring out how we might do that, how we might come back into a regular rhythm of being together as God's people gather together in worship. So there is an upcoming worship team meeting on January 20th. Please be in contact with Kathy Berlin, who is the worship ministry chair, to be involved in that meeting and to join us in those conversations. We definitely Gary and I have some ideas, but we also want to hear from you, and we need all kinds of eyes, ears, and minds out there looking to see what is happening, what is successful, what is being done, and what things that we want to try. Between the now and the then is a whole lot of experimentation and figuring out how we can still be the church together and how we can find ways to safely come back together in worship. And then other things will fall in line as well. And speaking of those other things, Cindy Remington and Bill Clark are going to be starting a new class in early February about race relations. There are videos and curriculums offered from the Virginia Conference of the United Methodist Church. It's a short session in the evenings, most likely, where they're going to invite you to join them on Zoom, to watch a short video and have some more in-depth conversations on issues about race and racism and racial justice and the history of racism in the state of Virginia. And also really looking about how it has affected and impacted the church and the ministries of the church. So things are still moving, still happening. The work of God's people in the world is still ongoing, even though what we do and how we do it looks a little different.
And by way of letting you all know what is still going on, as we speak, Pacham is taking place in our fellowship hall every night. And so there are people without shelter who are sheltering in our church. They are gone by the morning and they come back in later in the evening. So our building is being used, but we're not encouraging people who don't have to go out to go into the building. And we're grateful to Brandon Henning and all the staff at Pacham for the work they're doing with this vulnerable population. Also want to let you know that plans have already started and commitments have been made to reopen the FUMP preschool in the fall. And so while there's a lot that's not, known about how COVID is going to roll out or how vaccines will be administered, we are planning to reopen the FUMP preschool, and registrations are starting.
Yeah, all that information is also on the website now. There's a new email up. We have some volunteers and a couple other people, church leaders, who are helping navigate all of that. And registration stuff is already out there and available for people to start registering for that.
Yeah. So be encouraged. We are doing and being the church in the world as we can right now. And we are looking forward to a time where we can truly gather together in person. The final thing I'd like to share with you is a beloved member of our church, Loman Cunningham, passed away the last week of December, and his graveside service was last week, and we've just posted a memorial moment for his family, and would invite you to, especially if you knew Loman and his faith and life touched your faith and life, take a moment to participate in that time of worship and remembrance. Until next week, we hope that you will stay safe, stay connected, and
and join us in this time. I've seen Crystal was online with us and told us she was here and check in and talk to us and ask other questions about things happening with the church.
Speaking of that, we have also found out that when our links to worship are shared, when you share our worship links with other people, our viewership goes way up. So as you determine you're going to worship online with us, think about someone you might invite, because it really makes a difference when you share our link with others.
Right. Wink, wink, wink.
Wink, wink, do it. So good to see everybody. Happy New Year. And we will look forward to worship on Sunday for Baptism of the Lord Sunday.
That's right. All right. Now we're going to pause and I'm going to hit some buttons. Gary, don't leave the Zoom session yet. Let's see what